Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? So, I truly apologize for the humming in the back. That's literally my PlayStation, and anything I play for some reason, it actually starts it up like that. So, if you know anything of how to stop it, that would be amazing. But, if you do turn me down by a bit, you can not even hear it. Like, that's how I usually check my audio. After I can hear it, I turn it down and find where I can still hear myself and not hear that. So I do apologize for that, guys. But with this week's episode of this Cinderella story, I'm gonna call it, we truly don't know who is the princess that he's going to try. Well, a Cinderella, I should say. And he doesn't know who to truly put his full out to, not to mention anybody he actually likes. Kind of puts him in a position where he doesn't want to trust any of them. The one thing that was kind of interesting though this week was the fact that one girl got really, really jealous and hurt by what was going on, from what I could tell, and we didn't even do anything about it. The girl that likes to be a dog, we literally just let it go, like he didn't really talk to her. He didn't try to show us how he fixed it up or how she felt afterwards. Nothing. So that was actually pretty weird, but it made sense though, because he couldn't do much in the situation he was in until he actually got away from being in such a bad standing, you can say. So that part made sense, but to then see him like at school and not in, class sometimes, or not around that girl and not trying to figure out what's going on with her, that was, the reason why I bring that up. And I was even gonna say the girl who likes to smell him a lot didn't show up, and then she literally just comes in to smell and give him a ticket that conveniently he needed 5 people to be with him. So yeah, we're definitely getting a little bikini scene before the show comes to an inevitable end. But at the same time, we'll probably wind up seeing what's his face actually meet the Cinderella, supposedly, because from what we can understand from this week's episode is he actually figured out who it could be. And it all comes down to the time period when she was stalking this room to use to blackmail our guy. So that was actually pretty interesting. Like, to think that all this time she could have found out, or he could have been looking through these pictures to find out when and how she knew to, take the picture when she found him in the act. That was the true part of, oh, can I, since we're friends, can I go through all the stuff at this time period when this happened? And for some reason, I guess that never occurred to him, or maybe he just thought when she was trying to catch him in the act of whatever, of when him and the girl were doing that stuff to get him blackmailed, he probably only thought she was taking pictures then. But it wouldn't make sense that she wouldn't have tried it different times, multiple times, and failed. Like, she just got lucky up until that, or she was unlucky up until that point, got lucky, and then she had the courage to push you with that type of blackmail. So that was weird to me, but I guess it makes sense that he would want, nothing to do with her after what had occurred. And I do also apologize for fighting the same people. I need as much XP as possible to level up these DLC characters. So that's why I fight these characters all the time. They give the most experience out of anybody. I try to use strong characters, but yeah, I apologize. But no, we are looking at such a weird way of this show progressively giving us information that seems like should have been, obvious. So first of all, the information that should have been obvious to our main character is that all three of these girls like him in some type of way. And the one that plays the hardest to understand is definitely the manga girl. And I think after her knowing all of these, attempts and all of these different changes of his demeanor for whatever reason that these two girls are, either pushing on him or collectively just asking him to do something and he does it, it definitely was probably making her jealous enough to just be like, what, screw the thing I'm doing. I can't even get that material because, mind you, now blonde boy is walking around with that girl, so that kind of kills that image, so I'm guessing that's a good reason why she's looking into making something something else. But yeah, I mean, I got a feeling that whatever she's making still isn't what she's letting off to be. Of course, like, it's probably some manga where she is forcibly like trying to seduce a guy, but then once she gets him, then she can make him do whatever or something. Like I'm never going to trust any of these girls to be normal. So I was like, there's got to be some really weird reason she wants this, and I kind of don't want to know why. So let's just leave it at that. We'll find out if we find out. That move looks sick. But not only that, we also got to see this man just going through absolute torture all day and night, but for looking at some drawer that he didn't even get the answer to that he should have gotten. So yeah, it was definitely an overall rough experience for him. And for some reason, my PlayStation sounds like it's going to take off even further right now. So I don't know what the heck is up with it. Let's just hope the PlayStation 5 is not as loud, because that's the next console I'm getting. I'm not getting a Pro. Seen too many cons. Am I right? Pro, con? Stop. But anyway, I definitely hope this guy is satisfied with his pick of, what he has to go through, because at this point, it almost feels like with the show's way of getting to this final part, it felt like the show would have been better if he didn't find this picture, which, if it is some weird twist that it was the girl who needed help and she was like trying to plant this seed or something earlier on, I don't know. It would be weird if it's the sister, because we still haven't got any information on her, and she had shown up at the club before, so she was pretty much a suspect since the start of this all. So it just comes down to, how are they gonna play all this out? And once it plays out, are we gonna like it, or are we going to hate it, or are we even gonna be surprised at this point? Because now I'm pretty scared to see what they're going to give us at the end of the day, because this show has pretty much guaranteed us some freaky weird girl, or either that or the most perfect girl of all times, that once the show probably comes to a close and he's decided that she is the one that he wants to be with, she shows him the most freakiest thing out of all of them, like pulling an octopus out of the, let's just leave that to our imagination. Well, with all that being said, my anime people, we got one episode left, and for all the people who have read or know what happens throughout all this, is there any chance for a season 2? If there is, and my answer is, you give me a yes that there is, then my perspective of this will be completely different in the case of the potential that we can see in the future for this show. But if this is going to end and we're kind of just left with the guy who meets the girl that he's supposed to be with, and then all the girls show up and they're just like, oh, now you have to pick one, and then he doesn't pick one, or he gets to pick them all, or I don't know, man. It feels like the show has just now put itself in a weird position with how much time he spent with all of them, And I also have probably looked too far into this, so I will stop there. If you guys are having a good day, night, evening, I hope it's amazing for you. Or if it's not, I hope it gets better the next day. But with all that being said, I'm going to get out of here, get one more match in with these guys because I need them to level up. But I will definitely be talking to you tomorrow for some Fire Force Danmachi and Accelerator Dr. Stone. God, it's such a busy day. But those are the best days. But yeah, I'm going to try to get up early and get some stuff out because around afternoon I might not be dropping stuff. So if I can get out 2 videos and then there might be a gap in between them. So if you're watching this far into the video, thank you so much. And now you have the only information that I have shared with you. Use it wisely. Alright, everybody. Peace. Don't tell anybody about that.